I thank the chair. The ongoing war in Afghanistan is quite simply the wrong war, in the wrong time, in the wrong place. Intelligence experts agree that a terrorist threat to our nation does not emanate from within the borders of the nation of Afghanistan. There is a very real terrorist threat to the people of this country, but by its very nature, it is a stateless menace. It's a menace that's likely to use as its base of operation wherever anarchy prevails, wherever the rule of law is lacking. We cannot effectively combat this threat by occupying one country after another after another. It is true that when we occupy a country, Al-Qaeda and other terrorist operations will likely flee for other areas. But there are, unfortunately, Mr. Chairman, plenty of areas of the world that provide a hospitable foothold for Al-Qaeda, which is why a more effective strategy that this nation is currently also engaged in, but is to a certain extent not complementary with the heavy-handed occupation strategy. A more effective strategy is very light targeted operations, intelligence gathering and operations against terrorist operatives wherever they are. To be bogged down in one particular nation state, one that is host to a negligible number of Al-Qaeda operatives, it's been estimated that there are only 50 to 100 Al-Qaeda operatives, is simply counterproductive to the goal of keeping the American people safe. Beyond being counterproductive, Mr. Chairman, this is money that we can't afford. This amendment, which I strongly support, will cut $90 billion from the occupation of Afghanistan, allowing $10 billion to be used to safely bring the conflict to an end and maintain a lighter footprint of military operations to ensure that Al-Qaeda does not regain a stronghold within the borders of Afghanistan. It's clear, Mr. Chairman, that the current strategy is not working. The expenditures in Afghanistan under the current CR are $100 billion. That's more than $1 billion per Al-Qaeda operative that's within the borders of Afghanistan. Most of Al-Qaeda's operations have moved across the border to Pakistan. They've gained a foothold in Yemen. And meanwhile, we remain bogged down in a costly war without any clear endgame that can be articulated by the people on the ground. When we enter a military scenario, it's critical to define what success looks like. The nation-building operation undertaken with regard to the occupation of Afghanistan does not have a clear outcome that is reachable. The situation there will not be better in 6 months or a year, in 2 years or 3 years. It's time to stop sending American taxpayer money that we don't have to a war that does not further the security interests of the American people. That's why I'm a strong supporter of the Nadler-Lee-Stark Amendment, and I encourage my colleagues to vote yes